Do you know how much savings you actually need in order to retire comfortably? Well, I can tell you many retirees have no idea about this question, but that is what we're going to help you answer today in our Tuesday tip, so stay locked in. Hi, my name is Carson Graves, Certified Financial Planner and President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center, and I want to welcome you once again to our Tuesday tip, where we are going to be discussing how much savings do you actually need in order to retire comfortably. The reason why we are doing this Tuesday tip today is because, according to a recent survey, more than 50% of retirees either have no idea how much money they need to retire comfortably, and of course, they have no idea how to even calculate the amount of dollars they're going to need. So we're going to talk about 3 primary methods that you can utilize in order to at least get yourself in the ballpark of how much money you're going to need to retire comfortably. So let's go ahead and jump into our lesson today. So many times you've heard me say on this channel what the number one fear for retirees is, and that of course is running out of money. We've done YouTube videos on this particular subject matter. In those videos, we've also discussed the reason why. But to summarize the reasons why, it's really about the fear of the unknown. Most retirees just don't know how much money they're going to need. Of course, they don't know what the cost of gasoline is going to be. They don't know what the cost of housing or utilities are going to be. But it's really just that fear of the unknown that keeps many people up at night, not understanding how much money they really are going to need to retire. And so a lot of people continue to have anxiety and work longer than they really should. So how do you go about solving for the unknown? That's really the key element of our video today. I want to show you 3 methods that you may want to consider when you're trying to solve for your unknown when it comes to how much savings you're going to need to retire comfortably. So the first method that I do want to discuss with you is that you can solve for how much money you need by just targeting a multiple of your salary. So how does this actually work? Well, you want to have a range for lower income households of 7 times your salary, and if you're a higher income household, you want to look at about 13 times your salary to understand how much savings you're going to need to retire comfortably. So for example, you have a 65-year-old household with an income of $80,000. That household would need about $560,000 in savings in order to feel confident about how much money they have saved and also being able to live a comfortable lifestyle in their retirement years. Now, when we look at this same household, a 65-year-old household with an income of $180,000, this particular household will need about $2.34 million in savings in order to live a lifestyle that they're very familiar with, because we're talking about now 13 times this salary. So a question that you may have is, why do we use lower multiples for lower income households versus a higher multiple for higher income households? Well, simply put, it's because Social Security represents approximately 50% of the income for a lower income wage earner versus 25% for someone who makes a higher income. So it goes without saying, if Social Security is going to represent a lower percentage of the income for someone who's in a higher income tax bracket, they will need to save quite a bit more in order to secure their retirement savings. So now let's go ahead and solve for the unknown by using another method that I think many people use in order to get a ballpark figure of how much money they need to have saved, and that is the rule of 25. So what is this rule here? Basically, the rule of 25 is figuring out how much income that you're going to need from your savings each year when you retire, and then just multiply that number by 25. So how does this look? Let's say you're going to have Social Security income of $30,000 a year. You know this is how much income you're going to receive from Social Security. But you need to secure a $70,000 a year income, so you need an additional $40,000 a year from your retirement savings. Well, you multiply that by 25 and you will have $1 million that you will need to have saved in order to make sure that you can close the gap of $40,000. So why is this method used? Well, this method is tied and based on the 4% rule. Now, I've done many videos about the 4% rule, and perhaps many of you watching this video have also heard of the 4% rule. It's obviously been tweaked to now the 3% rule based on people living longer, but most of us are very familiar with the 4% rule, where it basically states that you can pull 4% from your retirement savings and it can actually last about 30 years. So if you were to take this $40,000, divide it into 4%, you're going to come out with the same number needed for your savings of $1 million. So the 4% rule and the rule of 25 are basically simpatico when it comes to you having to solve for the unknown when it comes to your retirement savings. And so the third method that I want to give you that you can use to solve for your unknown is a percent of your income. I use this a lot for my clients to help them understand how they may need to start thinking about how much money they are going to need when they retire. Basically, this method is just an income replacement method. The rule of thumb with this method is usually that when you retire, you should try to secure anywhere from, on the low end, 70 to the high end, 90% of your pre-retirement income. So for example, if you were earning $180,000 a year, based on this rule of thumb, on the lower end, you would need to secure at least $126,000 a year of income to as high as $162,000 of retirement replacement income. So if you're looking at the income replacement method, the savings that you would need would be approximately $1.6 million versus the $2.34 million if you were still using the 13 times your income multiple. So you don't need $2.34 million, you will only need $1.6 million. So why would this method be important? Because we know as financial advisors that there are going to be certain expenses for our clients that are just going to decline or just simply go away when it comes to the progression of their retirement years. We also know that perhaps in the beginning of your retirement, you're probably going to be spending more money because you're going to be doing all the things that you wanted to do, travel, seeing your grandkids, whatever it may be that you had on your bucket list. And as you get older, those things are not going to be as prevalent, and you're going to probably stop doing those things as well. So basically, it goes without saying, you're just going to spend less money as you age into your retirement years. So therefore, you will not need as much money as you were making before you retired. Thank you again for tuning into our Tuesday tips. Please understand that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for a fiduciary financial advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the links in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today. And in the comments section below, we would like to hear from you. Please tell us which one of these 3 methods you believe would be more effective for you when it comes to your retirement savings. And if you found this information to be beneficial, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others.